thought when I graduate, it'd all be fine. Like the heavens would open and the stars would align. But for some of us, that just wasn't true. We feel more lost than ever, and we're only 22. It's like we've been left in the dark, lost all our hope, lost all our spark, and all we hear is, get a job. But it's hard.
Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to the channel. If I'm honest, I did not see myself making a YouTube channel in 2024, if ever. But here we are. I would say new year, new me, but we're in November. But here we go. So today I wanted to talk about something that was quite pertinent to people my age, and that was graduation. If I'm honest, graduation is quite the mix of emotions. You obviously are celebrating doing this degree where you've struggled for 3, 4, 5 years and you really grafted and you had the most amazing time, and you met this amazing group of people that you reconnect with, and it's not like school where you're forced to hang out with these guys. I mean, if you don't like them, you don't have to hang out with them. But you really form that true bond, especially where you live in uni with all these people, and you basically become like brothers. I know my friends from uni, we are as close as like that. And genuinely, if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't have a degree or be where I am now. And for you guys, I'm extremely thankful for that, and I'll never forget it. So talking about graduation, it's hard. It's really hard. It's a change of environment. It's something new. You don't know what to do with yourself. And first things first, I think that I should say that you'll be okay. You will be okay. Everything works out for better, 100%. And so first of all, congratulations on graduating. Yeah, it's really difficult. And to be honest, it's hard to adjust. You have a lifestyle that you've built up for 4 years or 3 years or 5 years where you were doing your own thing and you were doing it on your own schedule, and you had so much free time to be free and do whatever your heart desired, and you pursued all these hobbies and you were really living the dream. And I think sometimes I feel like uni wasn't real life. It was a weird bubble that you were in where nothing really mattered. I mean, as long as you did your coursework and you did your exams and you passed your exam and you passed the coursework, no one was really asking you questions. You didn't have to do anything really. Like, you didn't have to go to lectures as long as you're doing your work, which I did really. I found that lectures weren't the best way for me to learn. I would rather go on my own, digest information, and then come back and ask questions where I feel like I'm actually giving the content a go, opposed to just being spoken to for a few hours and then losing track. Or if you got a bit distracted, you just lose track for the rest of the lecture, and it became pointless really. It can be hard to adjust, where, you know, studying and being in that academia environment's all you ever known, and then you come out of academia and it's literally the world is your oyster. You don't know what to do, and you're suffocated by all these choices, and you can go any avenue you want to, and I think that can be quite overwhelming, where you ask yourself, well, where do I want to be and where do I want to go? And that'll manifest itself, especially when you're job hunting. I think a lot of people at this stage of life either want to go straight into a job or they want to go traveling, which I think is amazing and I kind of wish I did, but hey ho. And or you just have some time out to figure out what you want to do, and I think that's really important. Speaking about job hunting, if I'm honest, you'll face a lot of rejection. For me personally, it wasn't something new. I think when I wanted to go to uni, I all I ever knew was rejection. So I got quite lucky that I found something that I actually enjoyed, but it was through clearing, and I was taking a massive risk on something that I didn't really know too much about. I had a view of it, but when I actually got into it, I realized I didn't know that much about engineering. And to be honest, I spent 3 of the 4 years just deliberating whether it was for me. It wasn't until my final year where we worked on our projects. I thought, you know what, this is actually really interesting, and I think this could be for me. Uh, because I love architecture. I actually love the science of how we build why we build, and it's really cool, really really cool. But that was just me, and as much as I love it now, who knows? I might change in 10 years. I might change in 15 years. I think that's really important as well to know that as soon as you pick a job when you graduate, don't feel like you have to stick it out, or even do the thing that your degree is in. You can obviously change. No one's gonna have an issue with that. Also, like, don't let people tell you what you should be doing. Um, I think that is a big thing that happens these days, where, especially in my culture, people feel like you should be doing X, Y, Z because that was the way it has always been done, and they've seen these successful people in these very stable jobs, i.e., the lawyers or the engineers, guilty, or like the doctors. And I think that comes from a place of where if you come to this country as a immigrant and you have children, you want them to be as successful as possible, and you would rather them take the safe jobs that give them relative stability, and that can be quite a lot of pressure sometimes, especially where you feel like that is not the avenue you want to go to, and you want to have more risk and try something new where especially if you're gifted and you're talented in that area, why not? And just have that strength and confidence to say, well, no, I don't feel like doing that. I want to do my own thing, forge my own path. And I feel like it's worth the pain, especially where you're doing it on your own terms and you're so much happier for it. I think life isn't characterized by the money you earn or the house you have or the cars you have. It's more about the fulfillment of what you're doing. And honestly, the best advice I ever had was find something that you love and that you really enjoy and just commit to it. And then when you commit to it, the money will always follow, because people will realize how much you are invested in this and how much you want to make it work and how you really want to provide a service that could potentially change the world. And you have to think big, you know? You have to think this thing will change the world and I will bring value to it, because you are your thoughts at the end of the day. And if you don't believe it, then how do you expect anyone else to believe it for you? And if they do have an issue with it, then they aren't the right people for you, I think. And yeah, take your time. Take your time. I wish I took my time. I think we live in such a fast-paced world where everything has to be now, 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 and you feel like you should be where you are now because someone else is doing X times better or earning X times amount, and you feel like you have to compete. And literally, that is far from the truth. Life is literally just living, just live it, and you're in a very fortunate position where you've had that time, hopefully, at uni to figure out yourself away from an environment that you don't know. And I think that's the best thing you could ever done. I mean, I travelled halfway across the country for my degree, and looking back, is the best decision I ever made. I was in so many new and uncomfortable situations where I had to adapt. I had to speak to people. I had to find out what I stood for, just so I could find the right group of friends for me. And that is amazing. And I would highly recommend. Obviously, I had my support network where if I needed to go home, I would go home. And yeah, it was great, really great. But even if you feel like you haven't found what you want to work for or your purpose as of yet, then just take time for yourself. Take time for your hobbies. You know, I wish I had more time for my hobbies. And I think when you practice that self care and you really look out for yourself, things will come to you. 100%. You learn things more about yourself and you actually have time to enjoy your life. I think when you start working, you realize how much of your time is consumed by work. That all you think about is work. I mean, I would go from working to having dinner and go to sleep, and then that's about it. That's all I'd ever do. And sometimes I wish I had more time for myself, but that is just the industry that we're in. You can't do anything about it really. But pursue those hobbies, live your life. It's gonna be vibes for sure. It's actually vibes. And yeah, I mean, I've alluded to this at the start of the video, but everything will work out in the end. You know, life has a funny way of sorting itself out sometimes. You will always find what's best for you, and if that takes you 2-3 years out, so be it. I think it's very, very rare for someone to find something they love and love the same extent for the rest of their lives. Even I have peaks and troughs about my job where I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing, and wow, that was a really bad day. I really hate this job. But it's normal. It's normal to feel these highs and lows, I guess, sometimes. You should always aim for that medium, which is contentment, that you feel like you actually are providing something of service to the world. But if you haven't found that yet, don't rush yourself, you know? Everything works out, and yeah, have faith in yourself. But yeah, this is a very short video. Um, just just airing my thoughts. Hopefully, this is the start of something new. To build an amazing community out here where, you know, I can learn from you guys. You can hopefully take something from these videos. But yeah, I hope you have a great day. Subscribe, like, and comment. And yeah, thank you very much, guys. Have a nice day. See you later.